Shocking and disappointing were some of the words used to describe the salary delay of the special prosecutor after 16 months of assuming office. This is the latest development, many say, undermines government's fight against corruption and has the tendency of affecting the integrity of Kisi Ejaping and his staff. There's more in this report. Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejaping and his staff are yet to receive their salary 60 months after assuming office. This follows the laying of the 2023 budget estimates for the office by the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. The NDC MP said the move undermines the government's fight against corruption. This comes ahead of the consideration of the 2023 budget estimates for the office by the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. The report also revealed that former Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu is owed salary arrears over a year after he left office. Only the Deputy Special Prosecutor has been paid, leaving other staff of the office agitated and in a vulnerable state. The Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu, who expressed shock at the development, said the undue delay is an indictment on the whole purpose of establishing the office and is a further testament that the Akufo-Addo-led government is not committed to the anti-corruption fight. Here's Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu.
Tell me his service, conditions of service, he hasn't been paid. Some appointments have been done, which themselves raises question whether a board was aware or not aware. Chairman, you have to prove further the happenings at the office of Special Prosecutor. He hasn't been paid for 16 months, and you are coming to lay one report. We won't accept any report being laid here. Your commitment to fight corruption begins with your attitude to independent constitutional bodies like the Special Prosecutor, who has been denied salary. Can any of you live without salary? And you don't pay him, you expect him to work and to combat corruption, you want to lay a report. Mr. Speaker, even now, I have just had calls from the judiciary. The request they made to the president has not been met. Nobody will lay a report in respect of the judiciary here unless we have the formal correspondence from the president in accord with Article 179 of his comments on the budget of the judiciary, and whether or not even a quarter of what they have requested is what you are granting them. So take note, wait. No one should come and lay anything for the judiciary in the name of the Chief Justice until we know how much was the request made to the president by the Chief Justice and the judiciary. How much of it is the president granted? But for Special Prosecutor, Mr. Speaker, this whip and his chairman must be barred from going further to lay any report affecting the Special Prosecutor until we have assurances that he will be paid and paid his arrears. And persons recruited, you scrutinize them to know when they were recruited, whether they had board approval for recruitment or not, who asked who to go home and who asked who to come. Then you can lay the report. I thank you. So stay away from budget of the judiciary and Special Prosecutor, Chairman.
People have waded in this conversation with various opinions. One of them is co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu. He says this is outrageous.
It's an absolute shocker. This is embarrassing. It's unacceptable, and it totally undermines the so-called fight against corruption. And I mean, it's just something that one would not expect in this day and age to be happening. It just marks of a lack of effective leadership, because you can't have a flagship initiative such as the Special Prosecutor's Office, something that you set up yourself as a government, and you know that there are staff there, there are logistics, there are equipment that are required, and there is no effort to do this. Even after the previous Special Prosecutor raised concerns bordering on the same thing, you appoint a new Special Prosecutor in 16 months, he's not been paid. It's absolutely embarrassing and disgraceful. I mean, it poses a serious risk. You have staff who are engaging on what we call grand theft, and the nature of it, the sums of monies involved are so huge that they're the kind of staff who ought to be well paid so that they don't get tempted or lured by any of such things. In any case, it is really inconceivable that any worker will be able, in this current state of affairs, to be able to survive 3 months, let alone talk about 16 months without pay? What would their families be thinking? Why would they continue to stay in those jobs? You are going to risk their moving on, the turnover, the attrition. So it has a lot of implications for the running and management of that office, a lot of implications for the work they do, the investigations, and whether they are going to provide quality support in terms of their professional skills to the office.
What does this mean in the country's fight against corruption? Will Ghana ever win this fight?